All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Calvin Ford says that the reason why him and Gervonta Tank Davis is leaving is because we want the big fights, we want the big names, and we want to prove that we're the best. Strong words by Calvin Ford. So, I'm going to break this all the way down. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. Please sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and also share the video to get all your latest boxing news. With that being said, coach and trainer of Gervonta Tank Davis, Calvin Ford, states that he wants to make the big fights. Him and Gervonta Tank Davis make the big fight happen for the both of them because they feel like they have a lot to prove, and they are clearly the best of the best when it comes to the lower weight classes and divisions. And we know that Gervonta Tank Davis was on $1 million worth of game interview, and he talked about certain things and stuff like that, how Floyd didn't give him the fights, and then he came on the show and said that I never asked for the big fights. So I was kind of confused by Gervonta Tank Davis and his situation. And the scenario had to come up about when Floyd at the time was pressuring Gervonta Tank Davis, well, actually threatening Gervonta Tank Davis about some. I think Gervonta Tank Davis was disrespecting Floyd. He's like, "You keep on playing, I'm gonna put Vasily Lomachenko on you." And from point on to point blank, I think that Gervonta Tank Davis, that from that point on, Gervonta Tank Davis probably thought in his mind, okay, I can beat Vasily Lomachenko. I know he's going to make this fight happen. But then Floyd Mayweather start putting Rolando Rolly Romero, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Gamboa, and so on and so forth. It was decent names, but names that we didn't know who these guys who he really was fighting and stuff like that. And so from that point on, Gervonta Tank Davis, in my opinion, just got tired of the whole situation. Apparently he was fine with the money. The money wasn't a problem and stuff like that. And I don't think that Gervonta Tank Davis likes the money like that. I think Gervonta Tank Davis wants to prove that he is the best of the best out there. And I think in my mind, in his mind, that he's got tired of the people talking about how he's not fighting this, how he's not fighting that guy, and stuff like that. And it gets tiring. You looking at the media, you seen all these people disrespecting you, like, hey, when are you ever gonna fight this guy, and so on and so forth. And in my opinion, I just think that Gervonta Tank Davis got tired of Floyd Mayweather's crap, and I think he made the smart move by leaving Floyd Mayweather and so on and so forth. And then Floyd had the audacity to have a press conference at the same date with Gervonta Tank Davis. That was kind of suspect. So I think Floyd is still having some jealousies, and the expectations for Gervonta Tank Davis is high. And I believe that Gervonta Tank Davis can beat Vasily Lomachenko. I think if Floyd would have put him in the ring with Vasily Lomachenko, I think he beats Vasily Lomachenko. I think Vasily Lomachenko angles is not going to work against Gervonta Tank Davis because Gervonta Tank Davis has a very high ring IQ. Gervonta Tank Davis has power in both hands. Gervonta Tank Davis proved that he has boxer. He's proven that he could be a masterclass boxer and a boxer puncher at the same time. Gervonta Tank Davis has very good footwork. Gervonta Tank Davis has very good speed. He has all the intangibles to beat Vasily Lomachenko. And since that point on, Gervonta Tank Davis, I feel like that in his mind that he's got to get away from this dude Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd is just simply not going to make these fights happen. And I think Gervonta Tank Davis took that as disrespect. You think this guy can beat me? You think Lomachenko can beat him? I'm not saying Lomachenko can't beat Gervonta Tank Davis. I was just saying Gervonta Tank Davis can get anybody out, and I truly believe that he could beat Vasily Lomachenko because Lomachenko can't fight off the back foot. When he was fighting Richard Commey is not the most skilled boxer or have the best ring IQ, but Richard Commey was pushing Lomachenko on the back foot. Richard Commey was having his best success of throwing punches back at Vasily Lomachenko, but he let Vasily Lomachenko get all those angles off on him and making him look like a joke in the ring. So, with that being said, Coach Calvin Ford, press is pressing for these big fights, and they want to prove that they're the best. Now, I believe in Gervonta Tank Davis. I think Gervonta Tank Davis is the superior of the lower weight classes. I think he has a lot to prove, and he's going to show us. And he's been saying that he wants these big fights. Now, it was suspect that you saying that you wasn't calling for the big fights, but now you want the big fights. So you got to make up your mind, Tank. Do you really want these big fights or no? And Gervonta Tank Davis made up his mind. His coach made up his mind. They want these big fights. And I think the skill set of Gervonta Tank Davis, he can beat all these guys. I think he could beat Devin Haney. I think he beats Teofimo Lopez. I think he beats Vasily Lomachenko. I think he beats all the guys at 130 to 135 and maybe a few guys at 140. Now, y'all better be lucky that Gervonta Tank Davis isn't 5'10 or 5'11 with the 74, 73-inch arm reach, because if Gervonta Tank Davis was big like that, he would be a problem for everybody. He would even be a major problem for Boots if he had the height and the reach. And I'm just wishing Gervonta Tank Davis the best. I want him to have a hall. I want him to get into the Hall of Fame. I think he is a Hall of Fame fighter. He just got to prove it to us that he is a Hall of Fame fighter. And I think Gervonta Tank Davis is going to make a statement. I think the fight that Gervonta Tank Davis should go after is Vasily Lomachenko, because Floyd Mayweather at that time was saying that I'm going to put Vasily Lomachenko on you. And Floyd Mayweather say, okay, well, we're not ready for that fight. It's going to happen down the line, but we're just not ready for that fight. I think back then, I think Gervonta Tank Davis was ready for that fight anyway. Because Gervonta Tank Davis is just a pure dog at the end of the day. And I just simply think that he can beat a lot of these guys. Now, when it comes into the business of boxing, we know that Gervonta Tank Davis stated that he's going to stay with Steven Espinoza and PBC and Showtime and so on and so forth, all that good stuff. He's just not going to be doing business with Floyd Money Mayweather. So I just wish Gervonta Tank Davis the best. I truly believe he beats all these guys. I really do. You guys know I'm riding with Devin Haney. I think that's going to make for an interesting fight. I'm picking Devin Haney to beat Gervonta Tank Davis. I have a reason why Devin Haney will beat Gervonta Tank Davis. And for a few guys in the comment section saying that Devin Haney isn't a puncher and so on and so forth, the belt was just handed to him. Well, first of all, the belt it was handed to him, but it just wasn't just handed to him because the man really wanted to fight Vasily Lomachenko for the WBC belt. It's not his fault that Vasily Lomachenko is a coward of a man and vacated the belt because he didn't want no parts of Devin Haney, because that is a bad stylistically matchup for Vasily Lomachenko, because Vasily Lomachenko, he's not the biggest guy in the world as well. So, with that being said, guys, I got not much specific detail on the scenario with Gervonta Tank Davis as much as I do, but I know that Gervonta Tank Davis wants these fights. I know he's going to make these fights happen. He wants to prove to the boxing world that he is the best lightweight from 130 to 140 on down. He wants to prove that. We got to see it. We got to see him make these fights. And according to Coach Calvin Ford, they're going to make these fights happen. We want all the big names. We want all the smoke. And I got to point this out before I end on this note. Gervonta Tank Davis, he was in that interview. I believe it was on $1 Million Worth of Game, and he was asked about that question about what you feel about the winner of Devin Haney and Kambosos and stuff like that. And he gave his props to Devin Haney. He says he's getting the opportunity, and that's all that matters. But he said he does want the winner of Kambosos as Haney. Now, I would love that, but it's not going to happen because Haney has a obligated contract with Top Rank, and he has to beat Kambosos twice, and he has to fight whoever puts whatever fighter Top Rank has for him. I hope it's not Keyshawn Davis. If Keyshawn Davis gets a shot at Undisputed, oh my God, you talk about the boxing world's going to be on fire. Like, really, he's 5-0 and he deserves a shot at Undisputed. Like, make that make sense. You know, I'm not saying that's not possible. It can happen for rare fighters like Vasily Lomachenko got a title shot in his second or third debut as a pro. If Keyshawn Davis gets a fight, I'm not knocking the brother. That's an opportunity that he probably won't never get ever again. But if he does get it, I'm gonna support him. But I just don't think he's simply ready. So you can tell that Gervonta Tank Davis is a little bit disappointed. You know, he says that he may not care about the belts. He doesn't want to pay these sanctioned body fees. But he knows. He knows once Haney and Kambosos either each other, the winner of that fight that's the king of the lightweight division. And despite what all y'all want to say, Gervonta Tank Davis, the pay-per-view star, Gervonta Tank Davis is this and that, it doesn't matter. The belts, in my opinion, makes the fighters at this point, in this day and age. But back then, the fighters made the belts, and the belts make the fighters. So if Devin Haney claims all them belts, he's the king of the lightweight division. And I can agree with y'all on this point as well. The only person that Devin Haney would have to beat to be officially the king of the lightweight division is Gervonta Tank Davis. And if Gervonta Tank Davis wants to negotiate and do business with Top Rank, which I don't know how the relationship with Bob Arum and Al Heyman is, it's probably not good. But if both parties sees that's a big money fight and they could get their money back, they're going to make that fight happen. I'm just hoping that Gervonta Tank Davis really pressed for these big fights. He said he been winning these big fights. I want to see Gervonta Tank Davis shine. I want to see the young man do good. Gervonta Tank Davis, you know, he's starting to mature. He's starting to take the sport of boxing very seriously. He's starting to slow down his life. He's starting to focus on his family. And he's doing whatever it takes to be the greatest fighter that he could possibly be. So, with that being said, Coach Calvin Ford says that we want the big fights no matter what. And we're coming for all the big names. So, with that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.